What's up, Stoker?
Hi, Mark. How are you doing?
Just another day in paradise. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good to be talking to you. Appreciate your
Yes, sir.
time. If you're cool, I'll just start the questions now. Let me just adjust the setting here real quick and we'll get started. Okay. And obviously, I guess I don't need to ask you for your name and stuff because you got to be living under a rock to not know who you are.
Tell that to my kids.
Yeah. I'm curious, what are some of the highlights, takeaways, some of your highlights, takeaways from today's town hall?
A couple things. I mean, I walked in talking to small, medium-sized businesses, telling them that they'll make more money under Kamala Harris. And I told them why. Number one, there's 33 million small businesses in this country. 99% of those are pass-through, meaning they're subchapter S, LLCs, sole proprietorships. And of those, 99% of the entrepreneurs make $400,000 or less. And Kamala Harris has been very, very clear that if you make $400,000 or less, your taxes aren't going up and most likely they'll go down. So that was point one. Point two is healthcare, and in particular, pharmaceutical costs. Donald Trump, when asked about healthcare, said he has a concept of a plan. Kamala Harris is very specific in what she wants to do. She wants to go after the pharmacy middlemen who are responsible for the pricing in the industry and bring transparency and changes to that industry. She's been very clear and very specific. I won't go into the minutia, but bottom line, I believe that'll cut the cost of pharmaceuticals by 20 or 30% or more. And when you extend that to healthcare, other parts of healthcare, it gets even bigger. Number three is tariffs. This time next year, if Donald Trump wins, families will be thinking about what to buy their kids and relatives for Christmas presents. What people typically don't realize is 60, 70% or more of the gifts they buy are imported in, and most of those are imported from China. If tariffs are placed on Chinese imports of 60%, what happens to the cost of your Christmas presents? They go up significantly. So that's why I call Donald Trump the Grinch that's stealing Christmas. But it gets worse. It really does. Because you typically, like in Pennsylvania in particular, in Johnstown, Pittsburgh, you name it, there's a lot of small shops. I mean, you grow up with small shops everywhere. There's the local dress shop, the sporting goods store, the knick-knack shop where you buy all the gifts for grandma. Well, all those stores, they do most of their business during Christmas. And if Donald Trump puts tariffs, not only are you not going to be able to buy as many Christmas presents, but all those stores are going to suffer as much, if not more. And you'll see a lot of them go out of business. And so I talked to them about tariffs. And then the fourth element, which might not be intuitive, is deportations. Donald Trump talked about mass deportations. Pennsylvania, Johnstown, Pittsburgh, Philly, Erie are all so incredibly diverse. I grew up in Pittsburgh and I remember going to the Polish club, the Czech club. My grandparents were Ukrainian. People were very diverse. And, we have companies that have diverse workforce as well. If there's a mass deportation policy, it's not inconceivable and probably likely that somebody who works for the government is going to come knock on the manager's door at the local restaurant and ask for a list of all their immigrant employees. And they're going to take their addresses and their phone numbers and they're going to go knocking up on their door to see if there's anybody undocumented or if they know anybody undocumented. And then they're just going to drag them out. Stephen Miller and Donald Trump have talked about sending them to camps. That's not what we do as Americans. Look, there's going to be deportations, no question about it. Kamala Harris has said if you're a criminal and you came across illegally, you're being deported. If you've been here 5 years or less, there's a good chance you're going to have to come out and come back through the front door. But what about, people's grandmas that have been here for 30 years, have 4 American kids, 5 American grandkids? Are you going to drag grandma out of their house? And deport her or send her to a camp? That's not who we are as Americans. And then a question came up, actually, it came from an email, was from somebody who's a friend of a friend who's Polish and talking about Donald Trump and his relationship with Putin and what happens with Ukraine. Because anybody who's Polish knows that if they get Ukraine, they're going after Poland. And Pennsylvania has as big a Polish population as almost any state other than maybe Illinois. And so that was important to the people here as well. So those were the grounds I covered just to show them that you have more stability, you have the opportunity to make more money, and Kamala Harris really is the better candidate.
Mark, thank you. This helps me understand a bit better sort of your angle on things. I'm curious now, obviously you just said Vice President Harris says she will increase tax rates on people if their income is over a certain threshold. Now, I understand one of the last times you were asked that question, you weren't necessarily allowed to thoroughly answer that. And so I'm kind of curious now, as a billionaire, how do you
Uh-huh.
feel about this?
Mean if my taxes go up?
Mhm.
I'm fine with it. Look, she's not talking about taking my taxes from 37% per personal income to 97%. It's going up from 37% to 39%. That's not going to change my life. And in order for that amount to hit you, you have to be making a lot of money. And the way I look at it is I owe this country a lot. The only way I've been in this position, the only reason you know who I am is because as an entrepreneur, I've been able to succeed in a country that loves entrepreneurs. That's what makes this country different than every other country on the planet. We have the American dream. We encourage entrepreneurs. Kamala Harris talks about having a $50,000 deduction against your taxes for startup costs. She talks about wanting 25 million new businesses to be started. That's what makes this country different. And so, yeah, so my taxes might go up some, but I'll be okay. And, as I said, for, 99% of people, their taxes aren't going up. When Donald Trump talks about cutting taxes, he's talking about a tiny sliver of people who would benefit. The vast majority of people are not going to benefit at all.
We've seen political candidates, they go far to sway voters in their favor. I've spoken to voters that say this makes them either more or less inclined to support a candidate, which, like it or not, can influence people, especially the younger generation. Where do you draw the line when it comes to what someone says or how they act in the spotlight in this situation?
I just try to be myself. I'm the Mark Cuban you're seeing right this minute is the Mark Cuban you saw 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I try to be honest. I've been an entrepreneur. I've been broke. I've started businesses and had challenges. I've, had businesses that didn't work that you've never heard of. And so I've been there, and so I just try to share my experiences. I don't try to come across and saying, hey, this is my bank account. That's why you should listen to me. Not at all. You should listen to me because I was broke as a joke, sleeping on the floor, a towel I stole from Motel 6, and I was trying to make what was best for myself. And I was able to make it work. And I want to share with you what worked for me. So maybe it'll help you. And again, in the Kamala Harris economy, she wants to start 25 million companies. Or help people start 25 million companies. That's what's going to grow this country. That's what's going to grow our economy. And I like to get out there and talk about, not to try to preach to people, vote Kamala, vote Kamala, vote Kamala. Even, obviously, I believe in it, but because I know there's some kid out there in Johnstown, Pennsylvania that, started with a dream to be an anchor, started with a dream to start a company. And you want a president that's going to inspire you to do more, not a president that you're embarrassed, you don't want your kids to be like. And I think that's a huge difference. So it's not about me. It's just either these elements resonate with you or they don't.
Mark, thank you. And there are people who may not choose to vote because they are stressed. Do you have anything to say to them? And if so, what would that message be?
Iron City Light.
And Mark, I have another question about obviously Elon Musk. You've seen he is supporting Trump in his political campaign. I'm wondering, what do you think about billionaires getting involved with candidates in this upcoming election?
I don't think the bank accounts matter really. I mean, look at what they're doing and what they say. Here I am dealing with small businesses. I'm not here to trying to tell you I know everything. I'm not here trying to say the sky is falling down. I'm telling you why I think the candidate is better. Elon Musk is trying to pay people, and there's only one reason you do that, because you think you have to. And so I don't think you do that from a position of strength. I think Elon is having to do that from a position of weakness. And I think it also might turn some people off. Why is he having to pay for votes? That's not who we are in Pennsylvania. Why can't you just trust us to do the right thing? That's who we are. And so, Pennsylvania is different than most states. I mean, again, we are so ethnic in who we are. We are so neighborhoody. We live in our neighborhoods. That's how we grew up. We know people that have been around us our entire lives. And, it's great to enter a sweepstakes and hope we win. I always enter the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. That's great, but it's not going to change how we vote.
Yeah, and Mark, no, that helps me understand better. Thank you. That's all the specific questions I have. And if you have anything else, floor is yours.
No, Stoker. I mean, I appreciate it. I guess the only thing to add is go Steelers, go Penn.
No, no, I got you there. Thank you. No, I appreciate your time. Now I'm tempted to watch Shark Tank again.
You better. You better.
Yeah, my interest is piqued.
Yeah, come on now.
All right, Mark, if that's all you got, that's all I got. Thank you so much for your time. Best of
I
luck to you.
appreciate it, Stoker. Thank you.
Thanks, Stoker.
Thank you, guys.